Well, good morning, church. Pastor Mark here from the sanctuary of Trinity Lutheran. It's good to be with you today to bring you an update from the congregation as well as a bit of a devotion. So I've been thinking. I have learned as I've gotten older that there are certain tools that make life a whole lot easier. One of them is a two-wheeled hand cart. So instead of trying to muscle your way through lifting a couch or a washer or a dryer, a two-hand cart can be a gift of God, taking part of that weight and make it easier to move the item around. Matthew talks about that. Let me share a reading with you from the 11th chapter, the 28th verse. Now, it doesn't talk about hand carts, but listen closely. "Come to me," Jesus says, "all you that are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Back in the day when farmers plowed with oxen, a yoke is something that tied two animals together so that they would share the burden of pulling a plow or pulling a cart. A tool to make life easier. Jesus says that we should yoke ourselves to Him. If life is difficult, or if life is grand, yoke yourself, connect yourself with Jesus, because He is asking that He might help carry your burdens. A couple of items that I want to share with you. Last evening, your church council met here via Zoom. We're not meeting together, but we're meeting electronically. And there were a couple of actions that they took that I want to share with you. First of all, there was a report that came from the Safe Opening Task Force, a group of people associated with Trinity Lutheran who are just incredibly gifted. They met 3 times and talked about how do we safely open so that we can worship together. Lots of people want to be able to do that, but at the same time, do it safely. So they approved a report that is going to allow us to begin worshiping outdoors, and we will worship outdoors only. So even in inclement weather, we're going to do a brief worship service outside. Bring rain gear or bring an umbrella. We'll gather together. We will mark out spots in the lawn there on the east side of the church around the Peace Chapel so that we can keep social distance. We will not do any passing of the peace. There won't be an offering plate passed, but there will be a place for people to leave their offering. We will work to be very safe, but to be able to gather together and worship. So on Wednesday evenings, as we gather together, it's going to be much more of a camp-style worship service. We're connecting with a young man who has been a camp counselor for years and years, and he is going to be our musician and will be teaching us some camp songs. This will be much more of a family-focused worship. It'll be at 6 o'clock at night on Wednesdays. So why 6 o'clock? Well, because we had hoped that immediately we would begin serving a meal so that people who were coming from work could come and grab a bite to eat and worship with us. As we crank back up, we've decided that we're not going to do a meal now. We hope that later this summer, though, we'll be able to slide into that, so we didn't want to change times around. We guess that this worship service will be a half hour to 40 minutes long there outside the Peace Chapel. Sundays will be at 10 o'clock in the morning, also out at the Peace Chapel. In the meantime, we will continue to have a closed worship at 8:30 in the morning on Sundays. And what I mean by that is a small group of people will get together in the sanctuary, no more than 10, who will provide the worship service that will continue to be on the radio and continue to be live streamed. So if you don't feel comfortable coming out, that's okay. You can continue to listen to the radio Sunday mornings at 8:30 or meet us via live stream at 8:30 on Sunday mornings as well. The other thing that council did was they passed a resolution to create a new halftime position here at Trinity. The name of that position is Congregational Relationship Coordinator. As I said, a part-time position, probably about 20 hours a week. As we've looked at what's happened because of this COVID-19 and trying to look forward to what might happen, one of the most important things that we have to work on here at Trinity is how do we become body of Christ that does an even better job of connecting with one another and caring for one another. So if you'd like to take a look at that job description, it's going to be up on the website by next week, and we'll start advertising it. We hope that as soon as possible we can have this person in place. At this point, it's an experiment. We're calling it a temporary position, no more than or up to a year long. If this works well, then we'll see. We may make it a long-term position, but at this point we're calling it an experiment. This is the weekend of graduation as well, so we lift up our seniors. On Sunday, we'll have a slideshow of the seniors that have sent in pictures and information to us, so we're kind of excited about that. And we also remember those who have served, who gave the ultimate sacrifice, serving in the military on this Memorial Day weekend. So that's the update from here at Trinity. If you've got questions, know that we're here. We are always available to talk, to pray, to walk with you. God bless. We'll see you later.